Did you know the SAT that you're about to take is nothing like the one your older friends took? Starting in 2024, the SAT has gone completely digital, and the changes can make or break your test day performance. So, in this video, I'm going to answer the top 3 questions that you need to know to conquer the new digital SAT. Number 1, what are the biggest changes to the SAT format, and how do they impact you? Number 2, how should you adjust your prep strategy for this digital version? And number 3, what are the top tips and resources for you to make sure you're fully prepared for test day? I remember the first time a student told me that they were nervous about the digital format. They were worried to throw them off, right? And they felt unprepared because it is the first year if you're watching this in late 2024. But after breaking down the changes, they realized that it wasn't actually as scary as they thought. And some of these changes are actually long overdue. The key to being well prepared is making sure that you have up to date information. For example, like relying on outdated details can seriously hurt your prep. So here's everything you need to know. First and foremost, the SAT is now fully digital, which means you'll be taking it on a computer instead of on paper. The digital shift has streamlined the test, making it slightly over 2 hours long compared to the old 3 hour versions, which in some cases with the breaks and everything could be a little bit longer than 3 hours actually. So in general, it's shorter. And one of the biggest adjustments is that the reading and writing sections are now combined into one single English section. And instead of long multi-question passages, basically you have one long passage that spans the entire page, and you have a series of questions that follow it. You'll now encounter very short passages, each followed by literally a single question. This means that you'll be reading less, but still will need to demonstrate strong comprehension and editing skills, right? The test is also adaptive. You probably already know this. So here's how it works. You'll begin each section, both English and math, with an initial set of questions called Module 1. Based on your performance in Module 1, the difficulty of questions in Module 2 will be adjusted. So basically, if you perform well in the first module, you'll get the more challenging set of questions in the second module, which gives you an opportunity to earn a higher score, right? On the other hand, if you struggle in Module 1, the questions in Module 2 will be easier, which could limit your maximum score, right? The adaptive design allows for more of a precise evaluation of your abilities in a shorter amount of time compared to the older linear format. This also means that how you perform earlier in each section has a significant impact on your overall score. Another significant change is the math section, right? Calculator use is allowed for all problems, and you'll have access to the Desmos graphing calculator within the testing app, which is basically a third-party website that has a graphing interface. It's wonderful and way easier to use than the TI-84s and 3s that I was used to when I took the exam. That being said, you can still bring your own handheld calculator if you prefer, and not many people know this. Speaking of math content, the new digital SAT has streamlined the types of questions you'll encounter, similar to the reading. Some topics that were previously tested, such as complex and imaginary numbers, have been actually removed from the syllabus entirely. However, certain fundamental topics are more emphasized, such as geometry questions, particularly those dealing with triangle congruences and similarity. They've become much more prominent. And you'll need a solid understanding of those geometric principles. Additionally, algebra remains a core component, but expect a greater focus on linear equations, functions, and system of equations. Understanding how to manipulate and interpret equations will be extremely crucial, especially when solving word problems. They have been shortened or more to the point, right? Instead of lengthy and overly complex setups where they're telling you about the entire person's damn life story. But don't be fooled, they still require, the strong problem solving skills. Finally, data analysis questions have been refined to focus on interpreting graphs and tables efficiently a little bit more, which I think this is one of the easier question types, so this is not too bad. While most students have found the new format less stressful, it's crucial to understand these changes to adjust your strategies. In fact, most people actually say, especially one of the recent iterations, they've actually been harder, right? Because the College Board is still looking for that data to sort of calibrate their level of difficulty. So it's been varying a lot. But The reading passages may feel easier because they're shorter, but some students have said the math is much more challenging, especially that second harder module if you get that at the end. People say it's very difficult, right? So studying for this digital exam requires some different techniques compared to prepping for a paper-based one, right? First and foremost, make it a habit to practice on the computer or tablet just like you will on test day. So get familiar with the entire digital interface. Spend some time exploring how to navigate the questions and use the tools available, such as the built-in Desmos calculator, which I'll have a full guide coming soon, right? When practicing with Desmos, learn how to use its features efficiently and maximize how many questions you can knock out simply by typing, right? And one thing I'll say is practice using Desmos not only for graphing, but also visualizing problems and solutions and checking work. You can integrate that into your problem solving strategy if you have extra time check over, right? So use the official SAT practice tests provided by the College Board, right? The blue books and the PDFs. These tests aren't just a resource, they're pretty much essential. You won't get a closer interpretation to the test's actual nature than like the actual company that's going to be making them, right? So set aside time to take these practice tests in an environment that mimics the real testing conditions, right? Sit at desks, use a timer, do the whole damn thing. And after each practice session, review not only your answers, but also how you managed your time and energy, right? So this reflection will help you refine your strategy and improve your test taking stamina. So now let's dive into some top strategies and resources for efficient test prep. The key is to practice smart and not just hard. Start with the official SAT resources such as Khan Academy, which is partnered with the College Board to provide free tailored practice materials. They've updated their content specifically for the new digital format, so you're studying exactly what's on the test, right? So when studying through Khan Academy, use their diagnostic quizzes to identify your weakest areas, and this through their algorithms will allow you to focus on your study time being, lasered in on the concepts that you need most improvement in. Don't just look at the questions you got wrong. Analyze what you got them wrong. Was it a lack of understanding? Was it a careless mistake or like a time management issue? Understanding the root cause of each error will help you avoid making the same mistakes because you went over that in your head, right? So now that you know how to navigate the biggest changes, there's one more area you can't afford to overlook, which is mastering SAT grammar. It's one of the quickest ways to boost your score. And in this video up here, I'll walk you through the SAT grammar guide that is basically the only one you'll ever need. And you'll learn all the important rules that you'll need to tackle every question with confidence. And if you're looking for even more personalized help, consider working with us privately so we can tailor study plans for you. And let's make sure you're fully prepared for every section of that test. Thank you.